And just because I needed to do this video, got to do a fourth one today. The web bot not happening was kind of a short one anyways. Doesn't really count. Zero hedge. Unloading dollar assets would be most effective. Chinese state media unveils trade war countermeasures. Again, I told you this the other day. Trump, he said, I'm going to handle that China thing on Monday. Tariffs and all this other crap. What's the old saying? Currency war or trade wars, currency wars, real wars, or currency wars, trade wars, real wars, right? One or the other. As in either currency wars come first or trade wars come first. You can kind of pick. It's your choice. You know, we've got 3 flavors for you to choose from. Pick one. Pick an apple. Tastes like an apple. Take a strawberry. Tastes like a strawberry. Lick a schnozberry. Tastes like a schnozberry. Who ever heard of a schnozberry? We are the makers of dreams. And we are the whatever. I am the YouTube guy reading to you. I do not want to vote like that one, Daddy. And you don't want a trade war with that guy over there, China, Daddy. After President Trump declared, again, how much U.S. debt are they sitting on over there? They could start unloading. And that's funny. Their state media said, hey, might be a most effective thing to do. Perfectly timed with the September-October timeframe, if I don't mind saying so myself, if they do such a thing. After President Trump declared economic war with China, seemingly following Bannon's strategy to maintain hegemony, we're at economic war with China, he added. It's in all their literature. They're not shy about saying what they're doing. One of us is going to be a hegemon. Or is that a Pokemon? Maybe we could be Pokemon. Remember the game Pokemon Go? That I bashed immediately. This nonsense, what the hell are you people doing? People are falling off a cliff in California, had to be rescued because they were looking down at their freaking phone. Pokemon Go. Freaking morons. Anyways. Bannon said he might consider a deal. Well, first of all, one of us is going to be a hegemon in 25 or 30 years, and it's going to be them if we go down this path. Are you sure it's going to be them? Last time I checked, great empires fall. They don't fall and then come back up and take over again. No. And we are that great Roman Empire these days. Just a little FYI, in case anyone didn't know that. If you need verification, Magic 8 Ball is the United States, the current New Age Roman Empire on its way to, falling off the pedestal. It is certain. It is certain. Okay. Appreciate it, Magic 8 Ball. Bannon said he might consider a deal in which China got North Korea to freeze its nuclear buildup with verifiable inspections, and the United States removed its troop from the peninsula, but such a deal seemed remote. Given that China is not likely to do much more on North Korea, and that the logic of mutually assured destruction was its own source of restraint, Bannon saw no reason not to proceed with tough trade sanctions against China. To me, Bannon said, the economic war with China is everything, and we have to be maniacally focused on that. And if we continue to lose it, we're 5 years away, I think, 10 years at the most, of hitting an inflection point from which we'll never be able to recover. That's what he said. What did Lindsey Williams, old guy, the old Ken Fromm? Lindsey, watch China. China's the big one. Watch China. Didn't name anything else, anybody else. Lindsey, China. Watch China. China's the big one. China state media immediately signaled the nation would hit back against any trade measures, as it has done in past episodes, and now, thanks to treaties in Chinese official mouthpiece. According to a treatise, the hell is that? In Chinese official mouthpiece, China's People's Daily newspaper, we have an idea of what those countermeasures could be. China could take 3 countermeasures against the recent Section 301 investigation initiated by the U.S. government, expert told ChinaNews.com. With growing trade friction between the 2 largest economies, the spokesperson of China's Ministry of Commerce made a strong response on Monday, saying China strongly opposes unilateral and trade protectionism acts conducted by the U.S. and will take all appropriate measures to safeguard its legitimate interests. According to the report, limiting imports from the U.S., reducing exports to the U.S., and unloading dollar assets would be the most effective countermeasures. And again, if this happens and Donald Trump's the president, like I've been saying the whole time, whoever the next president is will be going down the tubes for what happens across this planet. And if China does this, what is Trump possibly going to do to fix, let's make America double great again? You haven't even made it great again yet because of everyone in Congress and even on your side, on the Republican side, stopping you, which I don't blame him. And that's the point. It doesn't matter who the president is. They will take the blame for whatever happens. China is America's largest export market behind the North American region, and also one of the fastest growing export markets of the U.S. Uncle Sam relies heavily on China for trade. So if we have a problem, again, I see this crap and I think every single time, John Teeter, time traveler story, John Teeter. And if you haven't ever heard of that, just YouTube, JSNIP4, John Teeter. It's like part 1, 2, 3, and 4. I think I did 4 parts because it was so freaking long to read. I cannot ever get that out of my head as being a possibility. That it's not. I feel like there's just too much he laid out of the future that I'm seeing happening for me to just write that off. Oh, that's crazy speak. No. Claimed he was a time traveler, but he talked about China specifically. Remember what he said. I want to ask you guys a question. Something about the inner tubes, tire tubes for bicycles. Where do those come from? Nobody answered. He said, don't worry, you'll find out in 2008. Again, dates have absolutely come and gone that this guy spoke of. But he did say he threw out like 3 different Easter eggs that nobody ever picked up on. And I've tried to reread stuff, and I can't pick up on it either. Was one of those Easter eggs, okay, the timing's going to be way off on purpose? I don't know. But he made it sound like absolute trade war with China happening first before we actually go to real war. So when I see this, it comes right back into my head. I can't get rid of it. Cannot. Statistics show that the annual growth in exports from the U.S. to China averaged 11% in the past decade, almost twice the figure of Chinese exports to the U.S. 62% of soybean, 14% of cotton, 25% of Boeing aircraft, 17% of automobiles, and 15% of integrated circuits produced by the U.S. have been shipped to China. That's a lot if China were to cut us off, my friends. That is instant, you're in deep trouble. You're in bad trouble. Instant is what that is. If they break off any kind of trade with us, like say, that's it, we've had enough. Done. And in case you haven't been following me for any length of time, I've been covering this stuff for years. And China, in this thing specifically, okay, they're having a meeting again. Economic meeting, as a matter of fact. They're bringing that country, BRICS nations, all of them. Where's our guy at? Where's the U.S. spokesperson? Oh, matter of fact, they weren't even invited. And now they're doing their thing. Swiss, the international payment system, Swift. They have their own. They were working on that the last couple of years with Russia. Again, they're already gearing up to tell us Americans we're tired of your country's crap, your government, essentially. We're going to do our own thing over here, and it doesn't include you. This is an A and B conversation. You could see your way out, says China to America, like they used to say in grade school. This is an A and B conversation. You can see your way out. Ooh. Whatever. Yeah, this is more like an R and C conversation, as in Russia and China. In addition, China is the second largest export market of American agricultural products, buying 15% of the total export volume, according to U.S. government data. Against such a backdrop, restricting imports of agricultural products and high-end goods would be a trump card for China as a counteraction. Marcus Nolan, executive vice president of the Peterson Institute for International Economics, once said during an interview that it would be destructive if China limits the imports of American soybean and aircraft. In addition, being the largest export market of China, the U.S. enjoys the benefits of cost-effective, made-in-China products. According to data released by the U.S.-China Business Council, trade with China has saved American families $850 in 2015 on average. Oxford Economics estimates that China's low-price goods have resulted in a 1 to 1.5% lower price level in the U.S. Okay, but I got a question on that, just to be honest with you. When you buy something from China, any kind of like tool or anything that you need to use more than a few times, and you got to go back and buy it a second time and a third time because it keeps breaking, by the time you add up that, it costs way more than it would have than if we just bought one from an American company at a little bit higher price than what China was giving it to us for in the beginning. But what do people do? It's automatic. It's natural. It's automatic. Whatever the cheapest thing I can get, whatever the lowest price I can pay for this, I'm going to pay. I've got three, I'll be honest with you here. I'm looking for like a standard golf cart. The kind that has a little flip seat in the back where people face backwards, so you can have two people in the front, two people in the back. And the one that flips back so that you can put debris and wood and stuff around this property. Because I have no means of I'm like carrying it by hand right now. It rained, some tree branches fell. Let me go, I have nothing to put it on. I need a freaking golf cart. Little example. Do I want a club car? Do I want a Yamaha? Do I want an E-Z-GO? Etc. And you can find the pros and cons of each, etc. Most people seem to like the club cars a lot, although a lot can be said about Yamaha, etc. So, perfect example. E-Z-GO, Yamaha, club car. I'm going to find one, and let's just say I narrow it down. Damn it, I like the club car. That's what I want. I'm sold. I want a club car. Now I've got three on Craigslist, for example, or I go to the freaking golf cart store. They've got three, a blue one, a red one. How about the American colors? They got a red, a white, and a blue one. And they're used, okay? But they're all 2014s. All 2014s. Same battery age. Well, which one do I want? Oh my God. In fact, these are pretty much identical aside from the color. How much is each of these? Well, that one's $200 cheaper than that one. That one's $700 higher than the other one. Okay, so they're all this. I'll go with the $200 cheaper one. Right? It's a no-brainer. It's cheaper. Honey, there's two gas stations coming up. If I turn left, I go to that one. It's $2.12. If I turn right and go to that one, it's $2.08. You're going to turn right and go to that one. More people will do that than won't. So that's why China comes in, super cheap stuff. Even though it breaks and it's garbage, we buy it anyways because it's the cheapest thing. Not only that, these days, you don't have a choice. There is no A, B, or C. There's only A. And A says China. Go down the shelf and flip over everything in the grocery store. Not food. So like Walmart or whatever. And just see where it's made. Everything is made in China. Could you imagine the devastation if China just abruptly pulled out? Which, yeah, it would hurt their own companies there. But it would even be more damaging to us. Who's going to fill the spots? Who's going to fill all the stuff, all the junk we've been getting from China? Who's going to step up? We'd have to, there'd be American companies that would, absolutely. But they're not going to do it overnight now, are they? You would have a, cleaning of the shelves, so to speak, cleaning off the shelves, waiting for the manufacturers to get up and running and got to get a business loan and a government loan. The government would I guarantee you the government would put up the loan. You'd get the loan directly from the government. If you're going to be a manufacturer taking over the Chinese stuff, automatic. And the club would have all their buddies gearing up to start their new manufacturing businesses that you and I don't get to pitch in on and start our own. And, hey, can we get that government loan? No. You're too small. We got our buddies Goldman and JP Morgan, but we call them JP for short because we're part of the club. Not you. Piss off. So again, this is not good for anybody, but it's really not good for us. And I sit here and see this stuff, economic sanctions or these sanctions or that, trade tariffs. Are we really sure? Are we super sure we want to do that? We want to go down that path? Because they could pull out in a heartbeat and leave us holding an empty bag. Although, from the sounds of it, we'd have a lot more food to deal with. Nobody would starve because all the exporting of food, we'd have plenty to here. But then again, the farmers who are now losing 15, 20, 30% of the output exports, what are they going to do? They're going to have to lay off some people. They're going to have to downsize, right? Us Americans ain't going to be able to fill in the gap. They were relying on the exports, so now they're hurt, right? This could go so bad. This could go so badly. I'm going to hope it doesn't, of course. I don't want to see this crap. But I do study history, and I know that things are only stable for so long. And I know that democracies only last on average about 200 years. And the clock's ticking, it's past time. It's overdue. It's overdue. The next form of government is demanding itself come forward. These corrupt politicians, payoffs, backroom. You're not going to vote your way out of that. You're not going to be in a democracy, and you're going to vote like Donald Trump when he has to fire somebody right now in his office, in the White House. Okay, here's the new guy. Oh, he's from the same line as the club. The club has a special line over there. Next club member steps in. Oh, I'm the new guy. I'm his new advisor, economic advisor. Oh, I had a problem with him falling out. Fired him. Next guy. Oh, Goldman Sachs again. Same line. The same red line over there. Keep coming. Keep on coming. He doesn't have anybody else to choose. He only has those people to choose. And now we're hearing about, again, early stage dementia. They're going to try to go. They want his inner cabinet to have him go get a mental health check. Because the 25th Amendment could be pulled on him. You're not fit because you got mental problems. And I was talking to my dad today, actually, about this. I said, Dad, isn't it amazing? The guy's real estate mogul. Everybody loved the guy. Everybody wanted to be Trump. You know, you put his name on something, it turns to gold. He runs for office. He's a. We hate him. He's got early stage dementia. He's got mental issues. But right before that, it was just last year. It was just last year. Everything's fine. The guy's great. He's, just to show. It just goes to show you, you don't go against the status quo. They will never lose, which is why democracies only last a couple hundred years, because the people will have to physically dismantle it. And that requires hands-on, according to history. And that's when things can get a little messy. So, yeah, let's hope we don't go down that path. But again, history pretty much says it's guaranteed. Take care.